Yeah, here come the long-ass credits. Right. So, ooh, it's got nice pictures in the background. Also, suspiciously, it's not me in the middle there. Very odd-looking person. So, this is the point I'm supposed to talk about Shadowbringers, as I always do. Well, at the end of each thing during the credits, I'll talk about it. And I can't help but repeat what, I don't know, everyone has said. Of tomorrow. Yes, so it's almost been like a universal response to Shadowbringers of utter love. Everybody has loved Shadowbringers. The story is amazing. It captures everything right. That might be one, just very good writing. It might also be that it's a totally new setting. So it's like all new, but familiar at the same time. Which I suppose would definitely have added to things. I was thinking of this, and I know that it doesn't really hold up technically, but I think one of the best parts about Shadowbringers is the very fact that it kind of holds up as its own story. Like, cut apart from the rest of the game, it still kind of works. Obviously, the whole overarching theme is the light and the dark, and the first, the second, the third, the source, etc, etc, etc. And the Ascians and all of that, all comes from things we've seen in the past that have built up to this. So yes, technically it doesn't work on its own. But at the same time, if you compare it to any of the other, well, I say any other, there's been 2, but any of the other expansions, if you just threw someone in, I imagine they could just enjoy Shadowbringers by itself, without having done any of the other story. I mean, yes, doing the rest would definitely add to it, because you would have a much closer, as I've said a few times, familial feeling towards the main characters from the source. And especially if you've done the Crystal Tower story, you would feel much closer to Graha. So, yeah, I know it technically doesn't stand up, but I think that's one of the strengths I see, is that a huge portion of the story doesn't require prior knowledge. And it can be just enjoyed as is. Which I think might have been something that players were wanting. Something a bit fresh. Saying that though, it's just as a whole, definitely the best story by far. And I mean, the order hasn't changed by much. It would be Shadowbringers now first, then Heavensward, then Stormblood, then of course A Realm Reborn last. Though who knows? I mean, I hope not, because that would really say bad things about, well, the next one in line, which would be Stormblood. But they have said in a recent live letter that they're intending to change/shorten up A Realm Reborn, because they're currently working on New Game Plus, whatever the heck that will end up being. But they're working on that, and they're trying to make A Realm Reborn less grindy and awful, and less fetch quests and go gather dung and do this and 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 this. Alright, now you can continue. Alright, now you've done that, do this and 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 this, and now you can continue. But we don't really know. A lot of the things that happen in the main story make sense. So I can't really see, without redesigning it entirely, how they would go about shorting it. I don't know, maybe they could make more things in one quest, but I don't think that would really make much of a difference in the long run, as it were. But we can only wait and see. I'm sure I'll somehow try and play through it again after New Game Plus comes out, depending on how it works. The one thing that's put me off New Game Plus is the way they talked about it originally was that it will reset all of your quests, every single one, meaning you have to do everything all over again. That's the relic weapons, the anima weapons, Eureka, everything, and it's like, no, don't want that. If it was just the main story, I'm all for that, but I don't want to have to do all the grindy stuff again. That just seems like literal insanity. But we can only say that that was a very long time ago that said that. They could change, like, how it works. Now, I'm sure that they did mention something about being able to do things in sections or something like that. I forget. Alright, so yeah, let's go through the story as it's going through in the background. So, we arrived on the 1st. We went to find Alice and Alfino. I actually called the thing with the meal pretty early on. Like the stuff that was being fed to the Yulmorans. I wasn't sure entirely. Like, there was something weird. It was like, is it cannibalism? Is it Sin Eaters? I couldn't tell which it was going to go with. I had a feeling Sin Eaters, and now it turned out I was correct. Like, they turn people into Sin Eaters. That's the raising or whatever the heck it was called. And then, I guess, probably kill them and then make them into meal. Which apparently does taste nice, so that says a lot for, I don't know, Sin Eater / human flesh? But yeah, then we moved on to the Fae after the whole encounter where we met Minfilia and took on Ranjit for the first time. First of many times. Met all the fairies. That actually went, like, for them being the mischievous kind, it was pretty, like, fine, really. Also, when you, it's like only the fairies, or the fae, or whatever, well no, the fae is the species. It was only the fairies that were really the ones that were mischievous. Like, all the others, oh wait, no. The water boys. Froggy men. The heck they're called? Well, I can think of as the drown. I know that that's not right. Froggy boy. Froggy. Don't remember. Them. They're pretty, like, well, they're just, like, very bad. Because they drown people. Then we went to meet each of them. Fought Titania. Beat Titania. Feul becomes new Titania. Yeah, it's still called Feul. And this was actually something that actually bothered me. She clearly says, we owe you a debt. When the final battle comes, we will aid you. And then at the end, they're like, what's that? The fairies are coming, but they don't want to help us. After they're like, no, the fairies don't meddle with human affairs. I'm like, they literally said they'll come and help us. And then she appears angry that you didn't ask her to bring them to help us. But whatever. Right, that's important. This expansion. Oh, the music was so good. The music was so good. Like, every single time something new came, it was so good. Also, how long do we need to look at this fairy being squished? Yeah, it still does the same. Why do you not have it that it's the credits that go away? Yes, after we left Ilmeg, yeah, we ended up in Lahi Land, which I'm sad isn't playing now, and met the Knights Blessed, learning of the worship as of the dark and whatnot, and Master Matoya, which really was just like a non sequitur. It was just not a thing in the story at all. At all. Like, not even a second. It was like, I almost feel like it was written into the story so that people could have something to speculate on during the, like the trailer that came out where he refers to her as Master Matoya, and everyone's like, oh, why is she being called that? And it's like, oh no, they call people by that here. And then we never ever call her that. Only person who calls her that is Runa. That's it. That's literally it. It was kind of... I wish they went into a tiny bit more detail on that. After all the stuff we went through, we went to... What is it? The Ravana Keep? Rebel Keep? Something like that. Finished that. Got the thing we needed. And lo and behold, we find out some truth of the world. Some truth with an F. And we learned of the original summoning, because they were summoned, of Zodiac and then Hydaelyn. Yeah, we got a little hint into what's going on in the real world. First look at Garlemald, which was really nice. Which makes me definitely think that the next expansion is going to be Garlemald based. Or something coming is going to be Garlemald based because they're setting it up. And like, they wouldn't build up so many models and things if they weren't prepared to technically like reuse them. Alright, rushing straight forward. Almarang, the upper half. Well, west half. I love how I'm doing loads of like arm flails. No one can see that, I hope. If anyone can see that, then that's really freaky because I'm in here by myself. But yeah, so there's a gate in the way. We need to take a method to get in there. The trolley! So we need the Talos. We find out about the person who's lost everything and doesn't want to help. But then we go do some stuff. And we find the thing, and that gives them motivation to start again, even though they hate the Talos for taking his wife away, but doesn't really hate it, but does. Grieving's a horrible thing. Big battle. That battle was so good. It was really stressful, but so good. Of Thancred versus Ranjit. The second to last fight with Ranjit. Which, I guess technically ended in a draw. Like, Thancred was spent at the end of it. But I think that Ranjit was as well. Otherwise, why would he have fled? Yep, little mini meets big mini. Mini. Well, Green meets Minfilia. I guess technically for like the first time she's actually met her. And I think that it's supposed to be pretty much rather directly inferred that Minfilia is just gone now. Like, she gave herself to Reen. I mean, it's not impossible that she could return, because she sort of, like, fused with Hydaelyn, so her essence could still be there. Also, Etha's weird. Yep, the hair and technically eye colour change. She still has the same colour eyes, but they're not the bright blue. Return to Yulmore. I think because of seeing this, it's kind of skipped a massive thing of the attack on Yulmore, which was pretty badass. That was really fun. Pretty easy in terms of like, they're meant to have one of the greatest armies, and we didn't really see any army at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw more people when I was walking around the city than took us on. This I want to see more of. I want to see the fight between Xenos and Xenos and Xenos and Xenos while Dad Xenos watches on. I mean, I don't know how strong. I mean, he must be pretty strong as an Ascian, like thousands of years old. But Elidibus, I wonder how he fares against Xenos in terms of just martial prowess. Now he skipped straight forward to the Talos, the giant Talos. Loads of stuff had to be done for that, but we'll just skip straight to it. Didn't even see Vorthri, but he flew off and levitated a mountain for some reason. As you do. And they see that that's going to come down eventually. It's like, that's going to make a mess when it comes down. There's good old Vorthri, the Innocence. Which technically is, like, accurate. Because he believed what he believed. I know that bad grammar, but yeah. Also, it was really funny seeing that face with his voice after the way we've seen Vorthri up till now. Come on, what's next? Ah, yeah, Bismarck. That was so funny. It's like, oh, that thing's really interesting. But I'm sure that in some sort of side quest or something they'll probably talk about it. Good news, everyone! This is Bismarck. Ah, you're telling me now. Well, don't I look stupid. But it is actually really interesting that we saw the Bismarck. Because it brings a lot of questions as to what the original Bismarck of the source was. Because we don't really have Fae in the same sense. But he could have been the same, I think. Yes, dive deep into the Tempest, which, as you would have saw in my previous videos, hugely shocked me that it was not what I expected. I didn't expect it to be underwater. Thankfully, I managed to avoid all the spoilers I could about that. And oh my god, a massive skip. Ignore the Sahagin, or whatever. Oh, Ondor? Yeah, Ondor. You're straight into Amarot. And our friend that we met. I don't remember his name. It starts with Haide Okajima. Graha coming to our rescue at the very end, summoning warriors from far off lands, the Knights of Desu. I'm actually really glad that instead of waiting for that to pop, because it was taking a while. It was like, I think I got to 10 minutes and there didn't look to be any change in members joining, so I was like, I'm going to ask my FC, see if anyone wants to join, and then I just got everyone from the FC to join. But not Izzy, bad person. Not that they know, because they skip everything, so they hell are not watching this. And potentially, well no, I suppose that the last time we see him was at the very end, meaning he might not be gone. I hope not. It's supposed to infer that we rejoined, and that's where our strength came from. I kind of hope that that doesn't mean that he's just gone now, because I really liked Ardbert. He was like just a fun character. I'd like him to still be like the angel on our shoulder, if as it were, I suppose. And yes, I guess after thousands and thousands and thousands of years, Emet-Selch, or as he was, Hades, is now kaput. So in all, he wasted an awful lot of his time. Then again, I suppose if everything he did ends up still leading to the rejoining and his wishes of resurrection of Zodiac and then his people, he'd probably be fine with dying. As long as it accomplished what he wanted, I suppose. Because you can't forget that he was tempered, so... Also, yeah, yes, the fun party and someone in the background who's very suspiciously absent from other Warrior of Darkness things. What was I saying? Yeah, you can't forget that Emmett was like under the thrall of Zodiac. He willingly admitted he was. So it's hard to say how much of it was actually him, even after so long. It does worryingly bring up the idea or thought though that there probably isn't much you can do to like remove someone from being tempered. If even after thousands of years the Ascians are still tempered to Zodiac. I mean, there might be a way, but in that case it seems fairly unlikely. And yes, so I guess that means that Elidibus is the final Ascian, Prime, or whatever you want to call them, original Ascian of the original world. Or was it Termina? Was that what it said? Or was that just like what they were using then? I'm gonna believe that that's what it was called. Because just, why not? Doesn't hurt anyone. So, Elidibus is a weird one. Because he seems to want the same thing as Emmett does, but, well, he has came to us before, and it's like originally he seemed like he wasn't that bad, and that he was more logical, but then the whole last lot of stuff says the opposite of that. And now that the stuff in the background stopped, I have no idea how long this is going to take. Oh, you can speed them up! Why wasn't I doing that originally? I mean, it's been so long since I had credits. But, well, actually, I suppose not. Because I think there's credits at the end of... Far Edge of Hope? No. Far Edge of something. Fate? I mean, it's not that long ago, so I should remember. I don't. I need a break from staring at these credits. They should have pictures that go the whole way of the credits. Unless they are meant to last for the amount of time that speeding up the credits would take. In which case, I hate myself. But yes, clap, clap, clap for Soken. Amazing work. Like, as usual. And yes, I've seen this, a bunch of people say this as well. Voice acting in this expansion was on point. It was so good. Though, I don't know if those people were watching the English. I never thought to read and say that. I'm going to say yes, because I was pleased. And that's all that was important. Me. What I think. I don't know why, but doing the credits part always so much it just takes it out of me. Probably because I'm talking for like however half an hour long. These stupid long credits. Like if I recall correctly, every time the credits have come up, when I've come to edit the videos, has ended up being its own separate thing. So that means it's got to be at least like 20 to 30 minutes. Oh my god. And I didn't even speed up the first half. If it was even the first half. Also, I know that I'm running out of space on my hard drive because of us doing so many of these in succession. So I'm staring like, I don't know how much is left. This is why having an extra monitor would be super dandy. But I don't. I'm a scrub who has one whole monitor. And it's like, it's totally went off key now. We're not even talking about the game anymore. Speaking of not talking about the game, I just realised I've not had anything to eat yet. It's like nearly midnight probably. What time is it? Ah, it's only 11? That's fine. Why do I do these so late? To be fair, I actually get more. I hate being it, but I am more of a night person. I tend to get a lot more done at night. Oh my god, I don't even know how far I am through this. I thought when we got the music that was going to be it. But no, we're on eFrontier Incorporated. Keyboard Studios. LQA Services Delivery Manager. What? Liquid Apple. Liquid Apple Tester. French. Code Weavers Incorporated. Like, how far down the credits did Code Weavers Incorporated come out? Artus Incorporated. Shangri-La Incorporated. Keywords International Limited. Not Incorporated. Limited. Arrangers. Oh, there's long black. Long black. Axis font. Canada type. Havoc. Miles. Big videos. Nvidia. Logo Illustrated. Yoshitaka Amano. And... oh, we're not done. Fuck. Guest creators. Eden. Johan Dark Potless. Not out yet. Eden is though. Special thanks. Oh my god, please don't be long. Please don't be a back-ass list of long. You meant to have that last bit at the end. You're not meant to have the companies and then have another load of stuff. Oh, you got me excited for nothing. And I know that means we're in the last 10% of the credits. But Jesus, imagine if I'd not noticed that you can speed them up. Lenovo. Razer. Ooh, Razer. Come on, we can do this. Fumikitage, Twitch Japan, GK, and all the Final Fantasy XIV players. Now Matsura, Shoichi Matsuzaku, Yosuke Matsuda, Mr. Headshot, Naoki Yoshida. Producer and director. Produced by Square Enix Co. Limited. Are we done? Are we done? Ah, oh, thank God.